Welcome back to TandL Talks, the podcast for, about, and featuring fabulous educators. I'm your host, Nancy. Today we're heading into the heart of kindergarten at Spinning Elementary, a school that year after year produces remarkable literacy growth for our youngest learners. That strong foundation continues to show up in later grades with strong outcomes for students. I'm joined by two extraordinary educators, Kyleen Boyle and Sara Clerget, a duo whose partnership is a true example of collective teacher efficacy in action. Their collaboration, their alignment, and their shared belief that together they can help every child grow. That's the heartbeat of their success. You'll hear how they build the conditions for learning through strong routines, purposeful SEL instruction, and high expectations, and how they work as one team across classrooms, specialists, and support staff. They show us that when teachers believe in each other, trust each other, and hold a unified vision for student learning, the outcomes that follow can be transformative. So let's step into kindergarten at Spinning and learn from two teachers who show what is possible when collective teacher efficacy moves from theory into daily practice. Today in the TandL Clubhouse, I am welcoming a couple of fabulous kindergarten teachers from Spinning Elementary. Can you please introduce yourselves?
Yeah, well, did you first notice that we just winked at each other at this time when you were talking? We're just so excited to be here. I'm Kyleen Boyle. I've taught kindergarten for 4 years, but I've been teaching elementary for 10, and shout out to Spinning. Favorite place to be. I am so lucky that I get to work with Sara, and we're happy to be here.
Yay!
I am Sara Clerget. I teach kindergarten at Spinning. This is my 20th year.
Amazing.
All but one year in kindergarten. And yeah, absolutely love this home.
Well, I always like to start out the podcast by asking people to tell me about a teacher who had an influence on you. Maybe a teacher that had an influence when you were a student, or perhaps a colleague since you've been an adult. Who's a teacher who had a big influence on you?
I mean, I feel like I have to say my mom or she would kill me. But Shelley Woodkey over at Callis. I just loved being in her classroom, and I loved that she loved her job. And I'm very lucky that I get to do what she did, but in the elementary level. And just seeing her joy every day made me want to be able to do that too. So I'm very happy that she's my mom, and keep it up, Mom. You're still happy, but you're retired, so maybe you're happier. I don't know.
I probably have to go to high school. I had a couple teachers who just were very passionate about what they did. And then they really just connected to the students. Especially, I would have to say, like, high school math was, my class was, it was difficult. I had this teacher in 10th grade, Mr. DeLapp. And then I had him, and then in my senior year, I had calculus, and I was kind of struggling a bit. And I went to him, who wasn't even my teacher. And I went to him, and he was there to help and walk me through it and just piece it together. And so I just a caring heart, you know, above and beyond. So
very impactful. Shout out to him too.
Yes. Well, thank you both for sharing. I love hearing those stories. Almost always I hear something about relationship, right? And I heard that from both of you. And just that inspiration. It's that reminder that what we do makes a difference in the lives of people forever and ever, right? We hang on to that as grown-ups.
And we love what we do. I think something that's amazing about Sara and I is that we love our school, we love our students, we love our families, but we just love spinning. We're so lucky to be where we're at, that every day it doesn't feel like a job. Oh my gosh, I get to see my friends. I work with, the most amazing families. And that's just something that I think, I don't want to say is rare, but we're extremely lucky that we do have. So, yeah.
And teaching kindergarten, we get to see them from age 5 all the way up till 6th grade, age 12 and 13, and it's so wonderful to see them grow up and become who they're going to be. And it's just, you can, again, still can make those connections even as they grow older. So.
Right. isn't it fun when you see that kid who was really hard in kindergarten and then by the time they leave 6th grade, they're a model student. They're on it.
Yeah. It's also exciting seeing at the beginning of the year. Like, oh my gosh, those first 2 weeks are insane. And so being able to see that then in like June, you're like, oh my gosh, remember when you cried when you didn't know how to put your coat on? Look at you put that coat on. So yeah, the growth is super cool in kinder. And I didn't experience that. This is only my 4th year. And Sarah's shown me so much of like, set them to their high standards.
Yes.
They will rise to it. But like seeing them grow is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I invited the two of you here today because spinning has long had a history of just outstanding Dibble scores, but reading achievement for kids. And spinning isn't one of our highest socioeconomic schools. It's on the lower end. And spinning continually cranks out kids who are reading, which is super exciting. And so we talked a couple weeks ago, but I wanted to follow up on the podcast so the rest of the world can learn from the two of you.
Oh, well, I have to say that Sara is literally like the most amazing kindergarten teacher ever. I learned so much from her, but not only me, like other people do at our school as well. But a lot of that has to do with her, but also like Deanna Millett, like our SEL team and our MTSS team, like amazing. Sara especially. But we all work so like in tandem together that's why it is like that. It's not just us being all cute and doing the things. We have a really good team too.
Yeah. Right. We don't live in an isolated bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah. We definitely reach out.
We know all the kids. Yeah.
We reach out to our speech and language pathologists, our occupational therapists who came to conferences. I mean, we're reaching out and we're grabbing folks and, we don't know it all. Even after 20 years, I'm like, I am still learning like every day. Let's try this. This is, they're kind of struggling here. Let's just stop and do this and add that. And so it's not that I'm teaching the exact same way I have my entire time.
Yeah.
I'm like constantly learning more, adapting, taking this piece and molding it into this,
A lot of collaboration with people for sure.
So walk us through the literacy block in your classrooms. What are the non-negotiables for you?
We talk a lot about management, like kind of before we even like step foot in the realm of like, okay, let's talk about skills, CKLA lesson 1, like we just make sure that they're ready to be learners. And so all those things we take super slow in September. And we're really fortunate that we do work so well together that we're like bouncing each ideas off of each other, but we set really high bars. And she taught me that.
It's from day one. It's how to be a learner. I mean, this is maybe a brand new 5-year-old who's always been with family, who's maybe only been around a few friends, other kids. And so we need to just go, what is this whole new world that you are coming into? And so it's from day one, we're talking about how to be a learner. This is what it looks like. This is what it sounds like. And we take our time, go slow at the beginning, go fast later on. And we just take several weeks to establish routines, procedures, and like she said, always setting high expectations. I mean, I know that they can do it. It's not, let's not lower the bar. Let's really raise it. But like, take the time. We don't know how to put a code on. Let's stop the entire class. Let's practice.
Learning moment for sure. So then when we do get to the literacy blocks, we're like feeling more successful. They know what to do. They're participating and being able to like be those learners instead of putting out the fires every 5 seconds. So it starts with the management first.
Very proactive. Very proactive. This is what it looks like to participate. This is, my hand is straight up. I am saying it out loud. I'm an active participant in this learning. I'm not just sitting back and getting told what to do. I'm not a movie.
I love when her sayings.
Not a movie. Don't watch me. You are here to learn, and whatever comes out of your mouth is going to go into your brain. And you really just take that time at the beginning to establish that. I mean, establishing relationships, getting to know them, but then, this is what our classroom looks like. And this is how the well-oiled machine will run. And then we spend, like she said, like a couple of weeks just really slowly getting into it. And then finally we're like, all right, here we go, skills,
So when we're
knowledge.
ready for letters, they'll be able to like know what is expected of them.
Yeah. So it's skills, it's knowledge, it's following that curriculum with fidelity.
Yeah. With a lot of help with the SEL already taught at the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
Baseline foundation
Yeah.
set.
And then we just do the curriculum. It's not that amazing. It's like, all right, what are our learning goals? So, and then we just do it.
And then through assessment, we can see, okay, here's what we know, right? Walk Kids establishes all the things. We're like, okay, we've got this piece, this piece, this piece. This one's struggling with that. This one's struggling with that. We're all kind of, here and there. And so we can just go from there. We can go, okay, here's CKLA. We're doing it. And we might just supplement a little of rhyming, and that's the question of the day for Community Circle is let's rhyme with set, and so we're just mixing in a little bit here, a little bit there
all day
of what we need. But it's knowledge. It's, creating the GLAD posters. It's visually moving, seeing it. I think at the beginning of the year, we love our nursery rhymes and we're acting them all out every day, all of them. And it's visual. We're singing, we're dancing, we're moving. And
that's when they have a lot of fun, but also when they can feel like successful. So, yeah, that's why we hit like that so hard. So then once we get to the block, it's like, okay, like we all are on the same page, Yeah.
I remember watching you, Sara, a couple of years ago, your kids doing the chaining folders with CKLA. And that is something that a lot of teachers struggle with because it's a lot of management. And of course, at that time of the year when I was in your classroom, it looks like a piece of cake, right? And I'm also a teacher, so I know that's not a piece of cake. That's a lot of
learning happens to get to that point.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
With a procedure like that, how do you set that up so that it can look super independent later in the year?
With the letters training, it focuses on the I do, we do, you do kind of procedure. So it's a lot of me getting out the chaining folder and I'm modeling it over and over. And then we'll do it together, even them just still only me having it, but they're helping me put it together and we're sounding it out. And here's what my hand looks like. Here's what my other hand is doing. Here's what my body looks like when we're doing that. And then comes the you do. And then again, very slow. This is how we get into a line to get our chaining folder.
Yes.
And then I walk this direction. I sit down. And this is how I use the cards. I mean, it's these tiny details, like devils in the details, that really makes it work out well. So again, left hand flat, one finger underneath. I mean, you're doing all the little parts. To then it goes quickly later on.
And also modeling what to do when you can't find the letter P. Like, how do you solve that problem? Do you have to stop the whole class and tell me? Nope, you already know to go over and get it and be able to solve it on your own. And I think we also do a good job of like being real. Like, I'll make mistakes in front of them all the time just to show them, small problem, I fixed it. We learn a lot of that like through our SEL still. Like, it's all that to be able to get to the chaining folder, before we even like open it.
What instructional routines or strategies do you think have the highest impact for little kids who are learning to read?
We love RTI. We are very strong at that at our school. And we're very lucky that we work so close together. But like our 30-minute block of doing RTI 4 days a week has helped us exponentially. I don't know how we could be where we are without that.
And it works in tandem
so good
with CKLA.
Yeah.
So in CKLA, we're learning about the letter sounds. And then in RTI, 4 days a week, half an hour. And this is our lap time. So our lap teacher is working on the same thing, but it's just a fine dive into this skill. And this is our goal. And we have 6 weeks to get our kids to, 22 sounds, 21 sounds.
To be a benchmark,
To be at benchmark. And so again, it's nothing that CKLA is not doing. It's just it's the 1+, right?
It's extending.
Tier 1+. So we're just doing a little bit more to get them to that benchmark. So
And we talk about, even like before this, we were talking about our next RTI, like math stuff, like, which group, like who's going to be with what, like whatever. And we just are in communication about it all the time. And especially with our lap team too, they're amazing. So shout out to them also. But we are very, very lucky that we have like such strong supports and that our RTI works. We like our model, like switching the kids, it works.
We do a pre-assessment, find out what our need is. We create groups based on that. One of us has a bit larger group, one of us has a smaller group, and then we have our lap kids who then leave at that time.
Yep.
And then we do a mid midpoint assessment. And again, we're changing
Moving the
groups.
kids around.
Very fluid.
See what they need.
You're taking 2 of mine, I'm taking 1
Yeah.
of yours, moving them around, and then a post-assessment. So we're just constantly monitoring. We're like, oh, we're struggling with this sound, that sound. Let's really hone in on that. So,
And something Sara brought up last week that's super beautiful is like we think of each other's kids as like our own. Like, yeah, I'm sending my kids over to Sara for this like RTI thing, but I know in her class that she's going to do the exact same amazing expectations as I am. Like, I am very lucky that they get to go to her, and she feels the same about me, and we feel the same about our lab group. Like, it's not just Mrs. Boyle's kids. They're also Sarah's. They're also the lab kids.
they're all of our kids.
Yeah, they're all of our kids.
But I think that's a lot of just, again, collaboration and knowing that we have room to grow. Like,
Right.
again,
yeah,
like
we're human. Yeah.
we're like, okay, my kids are struggling with this, piece. I need to find ways to make that, to help them to
Yeah.
learn. And we're bouncing ideas. I'm like, this really worked well, Kyleen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, try this, this, and this. Or my scores might be struggling in one area and she's kind of rocking it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, what did you do here that worked so well?
We have a good trust, as you can tell. Like, we love each other also very much, so that also helps.
We plan together half hour every week at minimum.
Yeah,
But,
we talk all the time.
Just the two of us.
Right.
And that's where we're going. Okay, Monday, skills,
Unit 7.
5. Yeah,
Yep.
Unit 7.
Lesson 2.
1 on Monday,
Let's
2
look
on
at it.
Tuesday,
Yep.
3 on, and then we're looking at it. And then same with knowledge, same with science, same with math. So you walk in our rooms and we're teaching the same things.
It really helps to be able to like collaborate about it after.
Right.
And then we have our MTSS meeting every Thursday. And that's when we're meeting with our SEL TOSA, Dana Millett, and
Of her.
the 3 of us.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, but we look at everything.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, how's RTI going? This is, the glows and grows here. And then we talk about like just behavior, social, emotionally, how are the kids doing? And we'll talk like, all right, this one, we had to talk about this.
Yeah.
And that one,
As a
we need to talk
team.
about that, working on
Problem
that.
solve.
Next steps. Okay, Sara, you're creating this
Yeah.
print shop order and,
Yeah. There's just
Kyleen
no questions. Like, we're very in tandem.
Yes.
Yeah.
working together. So
Yeah.
I love too that your collaboration is evident, but I'm also hearing of that collaboration with your Title Lab people.
Oh, yes.
With your interventionists, with your SEL TOSA, right? They're
with
very
We wouldn't be
school
with here without them.
counselor,
Yeah.
With, it's all hands on deck,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Resource room, our MLL teacher.
Yeah.
We're all working together to, all right, this one is struggling with cutting and this one's
Yeah.
struggling with, gross motor, not gross, but fine motor and like all the things that we're not experts at.
right.
And so we're reaching out to our speech
We
and
love
language
asking for help.
pathologist.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what can we do to help each and every kid? So
Right. I love that focus on kids, right? It's our egos can be parked at the door while we're focused on our kids.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And that is very much the strength of your team and your
Aw,
bigger
thank
team
you.
at Spinning.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spinning's amazing. I was telling Sara, like, I've been involuntarily transferred twice with low seniority. And every time I'm like, I'm just going to come back the next year. And I keep coming back because spinning's just amazing.
Yes.
It's like the building, so, the people, insane. Like, it's literally, you can't get it anywhere else,
Right.
So, yeah.
Can you tell me about a story of a kid or several kids who struggled early on but made big growth and what made the difference?
I'm going to think she had a little one
my God.
who might have bit someone.
Oh my God.
At the
Yeah.
beginning of
Oh,
the
it's
year.
like day 3.
And
Oh,
again, thinking of his story, like
Yes.
he hadn't been around
Experienced a lot of
others,
things.
A lot
Yep.
he hadn't been in a preschool early learning kind of setting. And so he was frustrated, didn't know how to deal with that emotion. And so immediately we're like, okay, let's get all
Get our
hands on
people
deck.
together. What can we do?
Yes.
And that's what we did. And
Yeah.
now he's rocking it.
Yay.
Yeah.
Really just, not that it's just kindergarten, but it's not just academics. This is a whole child.
Yes.
And I need help with all the pieces
Yeah.
of this whole child, and so, they may be great academically, but they're struggling socially or emotionally. And I need to, I need to work as a team.
Yeah.
We need to work as a building. And I need to, help that child, the whole
Yeah.
child, not just the academic piece. So, yeah.
And I think it's important to remember they're 5 years old, right? I mean, you get sometimes you forget that when you're in a classroom because they're just kind of like your coworkers, regardless of
Oh
what
my
grade
God.
you teach.
It's cute.
But for real, they're 5 years old. They've been on the planet for 5 years.
They have not been here.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them, like, their birthday's in August, so they were just
Fresh.
4,
Yeah.
you know? And that's where it's every day. And again, we say this, it's reteach,
Yes.
you know, focus on always like noticing. I see you doing this, you're doing this,
Yeah.
you're walking, and that is safe. You have your hands at your side, that is da-da-da. You know,
Yeah.
you struggled to put your coat on, but you kept trying, you
Yeah.
persevered. But it's like stopping as a class
Mhm.
and being like, okay, this is one little thing,
This is a
especially at the beginning of
teachable
the year.
moment.
But it's
Yeah.
a teachable moment. Let's do it. And it might not be just one kiddo's struggle. It might be all of our struggles, you know,
Yeah.
but then also creating that dynamic within the class too, right? They
We're a team.
they are there for each other.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's so
you
pure.
hear
Oh
it
my gosh.
at recess, they fall.
I wish you well.
I mean, and they just want to help each other.
It's
They
so sweet.
care about each other so much. And they want to help that next friend sound out a word. And they want to help the other one, you know, with their
Yeah.
whatever struggle in the bathroom, you know, and like, but all the little pieces. So it's okay to stop and talk and
Yeah, it
be
doesn't have to be
together
this
as
go,
a
go, go.
class.
Right.
It doesn't need to be like go, go, go. Again,
Yeah.
proactive, right? Like one kid's doing it, they're all going to do it. Let's stop and let's talk. Something happened at recess. Let's stop, let's talk, like as a class, like, and, you know, just help them to build that relationship with me, with each other. It, you know, with each other is so important too. So,
And I bet when you stop in the moment and work through it, that takes 5 minutes,
Oh, if that.
right?
Yeah.
And then you're back on track
Yeah.
versus thinking you don't have time. I don't have time to stop right now. And then things escalate and you're doing a room clear, right? And
Yeah.
those are two different
Yeah.
outcomes that
Yeah.
with the same start.
and you can see it brewing.
Right.
Let's stop. Let's
Yeah.
stop. Let's
Yeah.
talk. Let's help our friend to deep breathe, you know, and we will do it as a class.
Yeah.
We'll breathe
Let's use
together.
kindness. Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
talked about if they, you know, need to go to the safe spot and what that looks like. They flip the 1-minute timer, they sit and they fidget with their little thing, and then we can work it out as a class too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally miss my mom too, or I feel frustrated about this situation too,
Yeah.
and let's talk about it. And yeah, then they know they're loved. They know they're safe. They know
Yeah.
they're loved.
Yeah.
You know, and then we can start thinking with the front of our brain. Then we can
Yeah.
get back into the learning. You know, I mean, if they are in that back of them, you know, having that strong feeling, back of their brain, you know,
Their
amygdala
amygdala is hijacked.
amygdala hijacked, then they can't learn. Then they can't. I mean, I remember Mandy Kraft she was in my room and this little one was just, it wasn't good. I mean,
Right.
we're throwing blocks. And I'm frustrated. He's clearly frustrated. And the principal was in there and Carrie Helling, and we all, you know, Mandy's like, it's okay, Sarah. He can't do this right now.
Right.
He is having such a strong feeling. We just need to help him to calm back down, and then we can process it, you know, and just, again, the brain science is so important, but learning that, and then that can help the, you know, get back onto track.
So you've talked a little bit about this, but tell me more about how SEL and literacy support each other in your classrooms.
Yeah, I mean, being like, you know, whole body listener, knowing the expectations before it starts is always like really important. And just like we've said, like being able to be okay with like making mistakes, it's okay, like we're modeling it. But then also like with the collaboration piece, like Sara and I are very lucky that like we genuinely enjoy being with each other. And we show that in our learning. So it's not like we're up there like doing anything that exciting, but like you can see like through us that we love what we're doing. And then the kids are able to like see that too. And we try to communicate that like with our families and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah. I think, again, beginning of the year, we're talking about what it looks like to be purposeful people,
Yeah.
how to be a strong learner, what it looks like, sounds like. And then we really get into small problems, big problems,
Yeah.
and solving those. And then if you've got that classroom management, you got the routines, the procedures, the expectations, if you got the classroom management, if the kids feel safe and loved,
Yeah.
all of those pieces are together, then here comes literacy and we're just rolling.
They'll rise to the occasion.
And it's
for sure.
and it's like it's a fast moving train. We're all in a really happy, good place.
Yeah.
And then we can, just move quickly into what we need to do. So
And we also do a lot of like progress monitoring kind of on our own. And we communicate that to families often just so there's no questions about like, okay, when we have to meet for a conference, like 99% of the time, they're going to know how they're doing on their sight words because we've already sent that home like 5 times, And so it's kind of like a really good, the work that we do works really well because we're in very good communication with all of those people. And so that makes when we get to like our literacy and our SEL, it's like, I'm not as confused as I feel like I could be because we're all like kind of on the same page of it. And that's what's amazing about our school. That's why it works.
Right.
Yeah.
And you bring up that point about data too. You two are
Yeah.
very informed by student data.
Yeah.
yeah.
We take the time to do it. And I feel like the results just kind of like show that because we're able to, it's easy to fill out the form, but like, what do you do in the meantime when you're filling out the form? You're doing the work.
And then you take that. And
yeah,
you're like,
my kids at a strategic, what can we do to get them, hopefully at benchmark? It's not just like, okay, like hoping for the best. Like we try to be very proactive in between those midpoint tests to be able to help. And helping us along the way with like that communication with the families, I think really helps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's taking the data and doing something with it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't sit on a shelf, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're doing the math assessments, the RTI assessments, and
M-class, like all the things.
CKLA.
Yeah,
We're doing all of the progress monitoring with M-class. We're doing that. And we're like, okay, we're struggling with
this
these words.
specific skill. And I know that because we have so many measures on it,
Yes.
Yeah. How can we incorporate that more?
Yeah.
But, yeah. No, Purposeful People has been fantastic. So we are just absolutely loving it. I mean, it's teaching all the pieces. And I think, when you have that great, just loving, caring environment,
the rest
flows. Yeah.
Well, kids are, first of all, by the time you're really digging into academic instruction, they already feel successful because of all the things you've put in place, right?
Yeah.
And then they also feel like they can take risks if they have that sense of belonging and they know that you care about them.
Yeah.
Those are 2 really important things for learners, right?
Yep.
Perseverance. We just finished that unit. Yep. Yeah. But like resiliency too, Yeah, it's really important. And it's hard. It's hard for me.
Yes.
So just being able to be like, okay, we'll get there. It's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're a team.
How do you two, you've talked a lot about your alignment, and Sara, you've had a couple of different partners over the years, including my friend Donna Paul, who
shout out to Donna. We love her. We saw her today.
Love me some DP. Donna was a 6th grade teacher for years and years at Spinning, and her last year before retirement,
what a
she
tale.
moved down to kindergarten. And by the way, her kids crushed it.
100.
Right?
Crushed it. She absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
But that's because Donna's amazing.
Yes, she is.
Sara is a very good leader and helpful. She will come to you and have like 10 answers of one question you had. And you're like, sweet, let's work on it together. And she will sit down and do it with you.
We're going to do it together.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's so good.
We're going to learn together.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was our first year of CKLA.
And
so it was like, okay, we're all in this together.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah.
We need this. Okay, we were looking ahead, okay, here's today's lesson. How are we going to do it? How are we going to teach it? And really working together. And we met quite often, for it being, she taught forever, but and she had all the skills, right? But then to be with 5-year-olds and know developmentally, this is totally appropriate. This is appropriate, but really just, working together to help.
Problem solving together.
Yeah, I haven't had any in my life. So we've, it's a collaboration piece. It truly, truly is. It's believing in each other and supporting each other. What can I do? Here's what I brought. Here's what things that have worked for me, but
super trust for sure.
So you guys have all of those things, and I bet your teaching looks pretty similar. And we all know that every single teacher brings different gifts and talents to the table. So how do you maybe incorporate your own sparkle? Is what somebody
Oh,
calls
we both
it.
have a sparkle.
Yeah. How do you balance that teamwork and that being on the same page
Yeah.
and still having your own
Yeah.
autonomy and personality?
Yeah,
as a
I think
teacher?
something that's super cool that she's always made me feel really kind of like good about, just with like, oh, I'm like new to kinder, I'm going to be insecure, is like, I have a lot of knowledge in second grade. And so when we do RTI stuff, she's always like, you have so many like amazing skills with writing. Like, how about you take this group? Or, like, what are you doing for math? Like, we both are just we know each other.
Right.
And so that like really helps. And that it just makes me feel like, oh, like, yay, I'm contributing. Cause like Sara, like, I just look up to her so much. She's just amazing. But we're both loud and exciting. I don't think I could be her in that though, but yeah, we both take like our own skills from that, and it really kind of works.
Right.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. I'm like, I've taught 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds. That I know.
Yeah,
I mean, I have my own children, but I'm like,
right.
no,
Yeah.
no, let me stick to the babies,
Yeah,
you know? I can do like a, 4, 5, 6, but it's knowing my areas of strength and my areas of weakness and
Yeah,
and
same.
reaching out to, I mean, there's years where I've had kids who can read at a 4th grade level, 3rd
Right.
grade level.
Right.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not my realm. I'm like going
Let's
up
go
to
help.
those,
Yeah.
1st grade teachers, 2nd grade teachers, what can I do to help them? Or, and no, I would definitely agree with that. So, art might be your specialty, math
Yeah.
might be your thing. Donna Paul was our
Math
math
queen.
whiz.
Yes.
And so I'm like, okay, how can I, do more with this piece or that piece? And, really looking for, from help for others. So
Yeah.
And also, similar to what you do for students, you do for each other and for other people in your school, which is build
Oh,
that
we're each
community.
other's cheerleaders
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah.
You build trust. You are a
Yes.
community, and so
Yes.
you're able to take risks. You're able to say to each other, "I'm a little unsure about
Yes.
this. What do you know?" And I
Yeah.
think that is intentional work again that you've done.
you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to.
We build good relationships with our students, but we've also built a very good
Yes.
relationship with each other,
With
and
the
that's
staff.
very helpful.
I think
and
you
our
have
staff,
to know. Yeah, I don't know it all. Like I
Yeah.
need to reach out to others who are
Yeah.
the expert in this
Yeah,
world,
yeah.
on this. And yeah, I think that's important to do. So
Yeah.
What's one thing that you do as a team that you think other grade levels could learn from?
Ooh. I feel like I don't know if they can learn from it, but we do meet often. And I think at the beginning, you're like, oh my God, another like, it's like I have to do this and like I have 10 other things I need to do. But when we do, it works. Like we're able to actually have like those good conversations that need to happen. It doesn't feel like, oh, another to do. Like I'm excited to go talk to Sara about whatever the heck we're doing. And I think that like in the past, it's like, oh, like, especially my first years, I'm like, I don't have time.
Right.
I have 10 other things. I have to talk to everyone about everything else. And like, we're going to be on the same page. It's fine. But like, we actually do it,
I think really being on the same page is the collaboration
Yeah.
is so important. I think knowing your students is so important and knowing what pieces they're missing.
We're so lucky with those first few days that we do have for like the WA kids, what is
The
it called?
family connection.
Family connections. Yes,
Meetings.
we're so lucky that we get to have that. We kind of
Slow roll into, we meet the families, we make the transition from an early learning environment to kindergarten, maybe a little more smooth.
Yeah. We get to build those relationships. I wish everyone had that,
Right.
like we're very lucky that we have that.
But yeah, I really do think it's that we trust each other. We work together really well. Yeah. Meeting all of their little tiny needs, we were talking today about finding, ways to incorporate learning too. Like we were saying, like transitions, like shout out to like GLAD and the CCD.
Yeah.
And like, that's just a little that you do every day that just incorporates a little learning. And like a back of a CKLA worksheet that doesn't have, that's blank. Okay,
Right,
well, we're
numbers,
writing our
1 through
numbers.
30 or something. Yeah.
You're writing
yeah.
your numbers. I mean, so it's just like
Extending it.
always, never. It's just, adding more to a lesson, but just like little ways of adding more. Because I don't know if it's because they're 5 and 6, but you cannot teach something once and be like, check.
Yeah.
Like you have to just bring it up
Every
a little
day,
bit.
yeah.
It's beginning of the year is 2-dimensional shapes. Well, here in December, or in December, we're still,
Still talking about
going
it.
on a
Still
shape
doing the
hunt
songs.
around the room, and we're still
Yeah.
like, you can't just do something one time, but to continue to do that,
Yeah.
I think is really important.
Yeah.
Setting really high expectations for them and like holding them to it. Like, I know you can do this. I'm going to expect it.
She's the queen at that.
But
like,
you
it's
gotta,
amazing.
like, beginning of the year, this is what it looks like.
I
Nope,
say
nope.
what I mean what I say.
So important.
It hits hard.
And then you say it and you're like,
No, but it's so
but
true.
it's so important. You're like, okay, nope. I said this is the way we walk, then this is the way we walk.
Yeah.
This is the way we do a chaining folded, then this is the way
Yeah,
we do a chaining
yeah.
fold. Nope. I raise my hand straight up, touching my hand, touches my
Yeah,
ear. I'm
yeah.
like, this is what it looks like, all day, every day. And then you can ease off later down the road, but setting that high bar academically, socially,
Mhm.
is really
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Anything else that you would like our Tandlers to know
Chandlers.
about kindergarten, about literacy instruction,
gosh.
about anything in your world?
I think it's important to just look at your data and see where you can just add a little plug, right? I think of the letters training and it goes through, this could be your literacy block, and it's 1 minute doing this, 2 minutes doing that, 4 minutes doing this. And that, I think, is just really important that our kindergartners were struggling with phoneme segmentation. So every day for 1 minute, all right,
We're focusing on
let's
that.
segment chip.
Yeah.
We're segmenting, and so it's 1 minute of just a little of a piece that we need.
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
Yeah. We love to switch our kids. And I know that some people maybe don't. And it's just something that really works for us. We're lucky that we have, there's 2 of us in our lap team. So we're, it's simple. It's 3, right? If you had a higher grade level or something, I can see it being a lot more difficult. But we just it's what we know, it's what we do, and it's what has worked for us. So
And
try
honestly, yes, the places where we see good student outcomes do exactly that.
Yeah.
They don't see, my class, your class, like you said earlier. These are
I'm rooting on her
kindergartners.
kids. She's rooting on mine. Yeah.
And you know them and you know about their learning, whether they're...
And I love to get to know them.
Yes.
Like, I feel like if we didn't switch kids, I would maybe know a few of her kids. But
You said that the other day. She finally got to have one of my students who's
I was like,
been
I'm so
with me.
happy to have her. I love her.
That's so fun. And I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
But I mean, I think, again, you come together, you say, this is our goal. I mean, and it's very much like data driven. And it goes right along with CKLA. It's nothing that CKLA is not doing. I mean, we just wrapped up Dolch words. And again, we just finished 7, unit 7 in skills. And so our goal was to master, most of the words through unit 7. And so we're doing it in skills. We're partner reading. And then here we are for our RTI time. We're doing the same thing, It's just
over and over and over and over.
It's just a little more of what it's the 1+. Just doing a little bit more of what the districts are, that the curriculum's already doing. So we're already teaching these words, they're seeing them this way and this way, but now we're just going to do a little bit more to just kind of get them to that next level. So
I agree.
One more question. I know I was wrapping up, but now I thought of a different question. A lot of times, especially on Mondays, people have a really hard time sometimes because your schedule's so choppy, especially for kindergarten.
Yeah.
What does a Monday look like in your classroom? How is it the same than the other days? Or
it's kind of funny. I mean, they're only with us for half an hour before they go to recess.
Right.
So, and every day every single day we start with community circle.
Yeah.
So it's
on the schedule. They know what it means.
I mean, it's literally by the time from the time my scouts are greeting each kid at the door and they're giving fist bumps and high fives. They come in, they're doing. My goal as a teacher is to create an independent problem solver who is a great mathematician, can write and read, but like independent problem solver, independent. And like, so they come in, they get their own ticket, they put it in the bin, they do this, they put away their coats, they're putting their chair down. They've got jobs. Every kid's got a job. So they're doing their jobs. I mean, we're on the rug, like all together within 9 minutes. You got your breakfast friends still eating? Sure, absolutely. You're still eating, but the other 10, 12 of us are on the rug, and then we're starting. And it's a nice slow roll, but then it comes into community circle. And every day it's a way to greet each other. It's dice roll. It's a brown bear greeting.
Yeah.
Then it's a question of the day. It's a nice, slow, some kind of breathing technique, but it's just nice and gentle. We hit up number corner, boom, and then we're after recess, lunch, and then it's skills and
knowledge, afternoon.
We get into Boost, our 3 to 4 days a week where we're on Boost, and the kids do it all themselves. Again, independent problem solver. So each kid has an assigned computer. They're grabbing their computer. They're turning it on. Maybe they need to get their, clever badge. They're flashing. I mean, they're doing it all themselves. Right. They're getting their basket. They have their own baskets, right? With their a 10 frame in it and their whiteboard and their headphones. And they're doing all the work, right? But and then, second recess, and then it's math on math, science, workplaces.
Yeah. And then that's when we get to end of the day, must do snack, may do time. That's when we might put in either differentiation or extension on that work. Okay, well, that skills just had them write the word I 6 times. What can we do? Can we rainbow write it? Can we write it in a sentence under, the picture? Something like that. So that's where we try to incorporate let's zhuzh it up. Let's make it a little bit more. So it's not just writing the letter I.
It's more of skills, right? Yeah. Again, it's all the seat work, but and now that we're into Seth and we've, finished unit 7 and then now it's okay. We've already, during skills, we've already done phoneme segmentation. We've already done, identifying sounds. We partner read every day. So 2 kids, all around the room, 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. And I'm walking around listening. Again, independent. Then, flashcards. We're doing all the pieces. But then end of the day, okay, now you get to come back with me. And I'm listening to you read, So maybe I have a couple of them reading. Maybe they're reading different books and they're just sitting there reading. And I'm just listening
assessing
to this one. I'm listening to that one. Yeah. So that would be a
Not
Monday.
a lot of downtime.
No.
Just go. But
Fridays, we are incorporating our purposeful play. So we're taking a good, half hour, 35 minutes to be in the kitchen and the arts and crafts center blocks, because
learning how to solve those problems.
They are
how to practice their emotions,
Yep. Yeah. Solving problems, communicating with others. Yeah. So still incorporating, a little bit of play. No, hitting all the pieces. So
Well, thank you both for being here. It is evident that kids are doing great things at spinning, and it's because of the ground floor that you've established for students. So,
thank you.
the things you have for kids are amazing.
Oh,
so
thank you so
for
much.
everything, and thanks for being here.
Yes,
anytime.
Anytime.
A huge thank you to Kyleen and Sara for sharing the intentional, joyful, deeply skilled work that drives early literacy success at Spinning Elementary. Their story reminds us that strong outcomes don't come from isolated excellence. They come from collective teacher efficacy. They come from teachers who trust one another, collaborate relentlessly, and share responsibility for every student's growth. They come from a team that believes wholeheartedly that together they can make a significant impact. We heard how routines, SEL, and fidelity to instruction create the foundation, but it's their shared vision and their collective confidence. These are our kids that truly accelerates learning. To every educator listening today, thank you for the ways you contribute to the collective strength of your school community. The work that you do every day matters, and the belief you share with your colleagues matters even more. Until next time, TandLers, keep believing in what is possible when we lead and teach together.